Hello, welcome to Spell Day. We're covering a spell every single day of the year from the 5e PHB +3. Those +3 spells are homebrew spells. We're at +1 at the moment, and you head back in the playlist to find it. And today's spell is Modify Memory. Hi, hello, welcome to Spell Day. We're covering a spell every single day.
Okay, forget everything.
Who am I?
Let's try some roleplay.
18.
That hits. Anyway,
5th level enchantment, casting time of 1 action, range of 30 feet, components will roll somatic, duration, concentration, up to 1 minute. You attempt to reshape another creature's memories. One creature that you can see must make a wisdom saving throw. If you are fighting the creature, it has advantage on the saving throw. On a failed save, the target becomes charmed by you for the duration. The charmed target is incapacitated and unaware of its surroundings, though it can still hear you. If it takes any damage or is targeted by another spell, the spell ends, and none of the target's memories are modified. While this charm lasts, you can affect the target's memories of an event that it experienced within the last 24 hours and that lasted no more than 10 minutes. You can permanently eliminate all memory of the event, allow the target to recall the event with perfect clarity and exacting detail, change its memory of the details of the event, or create a memory of some other event. You must speak to the target to describe how its memories are affected, and it must be able to understand your language for the modified memories to take a root. Its mind fills in any gaps in the detail of your description. If the spell ends before you have finished describing the modified memories, the creature's memory isn't altered. Otherwise, the modified memories take hold when the spell ends. Modified memory doesn't necessarily affect how a creature behaves, particularly if the memory contradicts the creature's natural inclinations, alignment, or beliefs. An illogical modified memory, such as implanting a memory of how much the creature enjoyed dousing itself in acid, is dismissed, perhaps as a bad dream. The DM might deem a modified memory too nonsensical to affect a creature in any significant manner. A Remove Curse or Greater Restoration spell cast on the target restores the creature's true memory. At higher levels, if you cast a spell using a spell slot 6th level or higher, you can alter the target's memories of an event that took place up to 7 days ago, 30 days ago for 7th level, 1 year ago for 8th level, or any time in the creature's past for 9th level. I did not realize this incapacitated the target for a minute. Also, it's technically blinded, but not blinded. It says unaware of its senses. This is namely to not give you advantage on anything. That's why it's incapacitated and not unconscious. Or stunned. But it can't do any of its actions, and it can still hear you. That one's important. Though, specifically you. That's namely for the components of the spell because you're describing the new memory, but it can't hear anyone else. So for an entire minute, they're incapacitated, don't know what else is going on, and they can only hear the enchantment wizard. Or not the enchantment wizard, but whoever's casting this. So that means you could use it as a stun spell. In a weird way. Like, let's say you walk up to a guard or you're getting caught, and this one caster casts it on them, and for that minute, they're altering the memory as if they weren't caught. Backing up, the minute ends, the memory had already been changed, they wonder why they thought they heard something in this alleyway. It's only an action to cast, which is why I forgot this was also that quick. I thought it was 10 minutes. Like you had to do this over a sleeping target, an already incapacitated target. But I mean, that makes sense now since it's only 10 minutes at base. The fact that you can do this in a moment. Now yeah, it's only one target, but it's ranged as well, which is nice. So if you're in a crowd of people and you get caught by something, yeah, that you can't erase the memory of the entire crowd unless you have enough spellcasters. But man, it's so nice to have magic or the mind already fill in the blanks on some of the memories. It's also nice to have in the clause that if something is too ridiculous or too out of the ordinary, it'll just be written off as a bad dream or something that has no effect. Virtually no effect. It will still have erased what was already there. Oh my gosh, that was a big one. Because the spell is already kind of filling in the blanks, we have some nice benefits here and some other nice features that might be unintended. First off, when it's Remove Curse or Greater Restoration, it says it restores true memories. Does that also mean things that were eliminated? Because earlier it says permanently eliminate memories. So is it only the false memories that can be fixed by Remove Curse and Greater Restoration, as in, oh, now the true memory is fixed, or the slight alterations are removed? Or does it also bring back entirely deleted memories? Because if it doesn't, because it says permanently eliminates memories, that can be really dangerous. But again, like some of the illusion spells, this one's up to the creativity and the situational use. So you could do the scenario like the guard and erasing it, or you can do things that entirely modify a politician's beliefs, or some caster's knowledge on something, or something they have discovered, or take it away. You know, you can manipulate what someone actually thinks or interprets of events. Like the game Remember Me, which I don't think anyone actually remembers. Also touching on the upcasting feature, which goes into the Remember Me thing, is the manipulation of people's memories. Because yeah, in the moment, in that quick cast, it's great for getting out of combat that just started, or getting out of an immediate situation, or changing someone's opinion on something that happened within the last 24 hours. However, any of the upcasting features, especially the 8th and 9th, especially 9th, you can use to drastic degrees. The issue is your window is only 10 minutes. But that can be a pinnacle moment. Or anything in a character's backstory could have been a modified memory. Really? Like, think of all those, like, NPC or character backstories where there's one pinnacle moment which is a deciding factor. Like, think of a witch hunter who had done all of this because of one time, like, his parents were killed. Or, like, imagine if you could erase Batman's memory of his parents being killed or who killed them. Or change who it was. It was a cop that killed Bruce Wayne's parents. Now you're gonna have a bit of a different Batman. However, issue is the illogical inclination. Because, if you only change that one 10-minute window, but the rest of his life since then was just fighting crime, it's not going to dramatically change him. It'll be seen as just a nightmare, or something weird. So it does have its limits. But you can do it to change small things, who was in a certain location, like, especially if you're doing any kind of criminal or guard, like, oh, yeah, no, this person was you definitely saw this one person acting really suspicious or cult-like. Don't worry about it. Don't worry that you didn't think about it that way or didn't remember it until now, just the day before the trial. Though if you do have enough spellcasters, you could entirely rewrite events, but that would be a ridiculous amount of spellcasters to actually fill up that time. Or just burning more spell slots. Also, fills in the blanks, but you can't possibly know everything in the memory. The mind will fix it. Which also comes into a beneficial use of Modify Memory. You're going to have be trusting the spellcaster to have this cast on you, or whatever organization's running this, but there's an additional use to this. Allow the target to recall the event with perfect clarity and exacting detail. Again, only 10-minute windows, but any kind of scribe, witness to some crime investigation, the issue is it could be tampered with, so probably not going to be trusted. But any moment where you're like reading a secret or scroll and you don't want to trust the paperwork, you could burn it and then burn that, not literally, but like CD burn that into their memory with Modify Memory. You now remember everything that was on this book exactly. You could give them a 10-minute window of what was it, like photorealist memory? Photographic memory. You could give them a 10-minute window of perfect photographic memory of every sense, and in extreme detail. They could even tell a smell of something from, like, I don't know, across the room? Now I'm trying to think of, like, what's the limitation of that with exacting? Does it amplify senses, or does it just take into account and, like, spotlight everything? Because also you can do that in the past, so if there's, think about it this way. If there's an old member of something, like an ancient dwarven scribe who doesn't actually, who's beginning to forget things, can't remember the runes to this secret vault, have someone cast Modify Memory on them, a really high level. Oh, that would have to be more than a year. I guess they could have forgotten it within a year, but if it's 9th level, and it's like a big, scary secret to like, oh, what's the secret to magic this scribe found out that has been lost for hundreds of years? You can cast a 9th level Modified Memory, and that 10 minutes where they discovered that secret or wrote down those runes or hid that treasure comes back perfectly. But I think the more common use of the like enhancing memory one would be in the moments like those scribes of the perfect photographic memory. Because if you don't have to actually read or digest a book over the hours, because again, it's only 10-minute window, you could purposely like set up scroll work or books or pages and information up on a wall or a board, and then just have them look at it, scan through it over that 10-minute window, try to look at just all the pages of an encyclopedia. After it finishes, like, I don't know, a minute after or something, cast Modify Memory. They looked over that, they had a 10-minute window to look over anything. And as much as they could, they cast Modify Memory, it is now perfect. You can make mentats with this. Virtually. I don't know about the calculation side of it, though. But there you go, now you have fantasy mentats. The question is whether you trust someone casting Modify Memory, because that's a lot of power in someone's hands. And the issue is, remove Curse and Greater Restoration will also get rid of it. Or is it like the Eliminated Memory scenario where it doesn't get rid of it, and it's only things that have been altered? If it is perfect, and like just benefited, boosted, and photographic, does Remove Curse actually get rid of that? Or Greater Restoration? Because that's only a benefit. 8 out of 10. There's still some limits on how far back you can of memories you can affect, so you still need to be within a recent window. But world building wise, with that situation of the fantasy mentats and modifying people's memories of past events, but the issue is that takes a 9th level spell slot, so that's why it's knocked down. But also the moment of, again, adventuring party being caught, or in the middle of combat, trying to change, like, oh no, we were allies, we were coming in, we're actually like part of your retinue, you were expecting us. And depending on the list or how detailed you can get, You can get really funky with this, or set up, like, plant witnesses with false visions or memories of seeing someone there that wasn't actually there. You can frame people, and they don't have to know about it, because they don't remember the minute. They're not aware of it. And when they hear your voice describing the memory, that's just for the material components of the spell. They'll only remember that part of it when Remove Curse or Greater Restoration is cast on them. That's at least the way I've interpreted that segment. And it's only you. So for that minute, they're only hearing you, the spellcaster. Everything else going on around them, they're not hearing or paying attention to. So 8 out of 10.